Hello, I'm Dr. Elise Lauer, the director of the University of Cincinnati Cancer Center Comprehensive Breast Cancer Program, and it is my delight today to introduce to you Sherry Hughes, WCPO Meteorologist. As most of you know, over the last several weeks, we have been presenting some short videos to tell you about the experience that we have had at UC Health in the diagnosis and treatment of patients during the pandemic. We now have a very unique opportunity to hear the patient's perspective. And so with that, I'd like to introduce Sherry. And again, thank you for being here today. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you. Well, the pandemic has certainly been an interesting phenomenon, and everybody's trying to gravitate around it and get through it safely. So I want to thank you guys for helping me as the patient to do that.
Well, listen, it's been our pleasure. We met each other a little over a year ago. And so you had a time on your breast cancer journey that actually preceded the pandemic and then getting treated just in that early phase of the pandemic and then now kind of that middle phase. How has that changed for you?
Well, you know what, I was diagnosed in July of 2019 and went through chemotherapy, had surgery, and during the point of my surgery, recovery, and radiation, that's when the pandemic hit. And so I was able to, get through all the chemo with a normal sense of, what was going on around us, everything pretty much the same, but during radiation, everything stopped. And so I had to pivot like everyone else. And there were many concerns about how to stay even safer, with being a high-risk patient.
Right, right. And I'm sure you did that, hopefully with the aid of us at the Barrett Center. But you also, I think, know how important other support is. Can you tell us a little bit, how were you able to navigate things personally and professionally during this time?
Well, thankfully, I was working at home. That all came about because of the pandemic. And so I was able to stay safer being in my own home environment. My husband, Myron, who's always been my primary care supporter and provider, he definitely made sure that we were adhering to all the safety precautions because of the pandemic. So, we were doing things a little bit differently around the house. Of course, not socializing and wearing masks and disinfecting everything that came in and out of the house, actually. But able to get through with the support of not only my family and my friends, but all of my entire care team at the Barrett Cancer Center, because you guys really kind of set the bar for what it was that me as a patient, what I was supposed to do.
So I know you had some scary times, and certainly, having low blood counts and being more susceptible to infection. Did you feel comfortable getting treatment? Because I think one of the things we so want to emphasize during this time period is how important it is for people not to forget about taking care of themselves and getting care.
I felt more safer, actually, more safe during my treatment periods, because I'm coming over to the Barrett Cancer Center and I'm seeing how all the doctors and the nurses and all the techs, everybody are so guarded and making sure that we all stay safe. So I actually felt more comfortable then, as opposed to, being outside of the home or what have you. I would see, all the doctors would come in with their masks on, and, the nurses would take my blood pressure and everything with masks on, and everybody was wiping down everything. So I felt very comfortable during that time period. And I just think that they really helped prepare me as well as a patient to not have a huge anxiety, just to be, careful and cautious.
How have you taken care of you during this time period? Do you have some tips that you can share on how you've weathered the storm personally as well as professionally?
Yeah, well, I've been continuing to exercise. I know that can be difficult for a lot of patients going through cancer treatment, but of course I try to eat right, so nutrition was everything for me, getting in the walks outside or just doing some floor exercises in the house. I just try mentally taking the time to I guess, meditate. So overall wellness, I was really focused at that then, and I'm still focused at that now. And I think that's so important when you're going through, especially during a pandemic, when you're isolated from a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that isolation has been tough. Have you created new ways to keep in touch with family and friends? And
well, they all Zoom. Everybody's Zooming now, right? Well, through Zoom, of course, work, family, and friends, but we're calling each other more. We're FaceTiming a little bit more. and just trying to support, social media. My social media family is huge, and people are constantly sending me, their thoughts and their prayers, and we're having conversations that way as well. And then my work family, they've been in touch a lot and trying to come by from a distance, maybe to drop off mail or something like that, or just to check in. So.
Yeah. So very, very important. Yeah. I always say my breast cancer patients who've had treatment before understand a little bit about what it's like to have to take precautions. To hand wash more and to watch for signs of infection and to make sure you get your flu shot and all of that. But this pandemic has been certainly a time of more and more isolation, and you've done a great job of not taking it to an extreme. You've been able to get out a little bit, keep that mental and physical health going, at the same time be very cautious.
Yeah, and during the pandemic, trying to navigate that, my father passed, and so that was a really rough time for me because he passed when everything shut down, and I was concerned with my white blood count and if I would be able to get home to South Carolina. And I was able to go, of course, through your guidance and whatnot, but that was a very rough time for me. But we PPE'd up, as you could say. I got my little pink mask here. I have plenty of masks, and we took hand sanitizers, and we kept the distance because my husband Myron, he's like my bodyguard and my also primary care provider as well. He kept everyone away, and he made sure we were wiping down everything, which we do. We wipe down everything that comes into the house. We continually disinfect the home, whatever, and we don't really let anybody in right now. But we do social gather every now and then from time to time on our patio from a great distance with a few friends here and there.
Yeah, we all have to kind of make it work because it's a little bit of a new normal, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is a new normal, but I think that my prediction is that by July of next year, this is all going to at least be considerably lesser than what we're seeing now. I think that we'll have to kind of strategize as how to get there, but the vaccines and all, and getting those in place, I think we'll have that by the spring for sure. And I think by the summer, we'll be kind of getting back to a new sense of normalcy.
I can't think of a better person to give me a prediction than a meteorologist who does forecast all day long.
I try, look in my little crystal ball.
We sure hope that you're right about this one as well. Listen, it's been my pleasure to get a chance to talk with you today. Thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
For our breast cancer cause, and we've enjoyed talking with you. If you have enjoyed today's talk by Sherry or our other videos, please feel free to pass them on using your social media to family or friends. Thanks again for listening, and stay healthy.